The most recent jobs report from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics has a big fat red flag buried in the fine print for both the US economy and the US housing market. And in this video, I'm going to expose what that red flag is and why you should be concerned about the direction of the economy in late 2021, because there's some big issues ahead, especially related to how much home prices and rents are going up in America right now compared to how much workers are making. This is something that could cause a massive crash in 2022, and no one is paying attention to it, which is the crazy thing. People look at this Bureau of Labor Statistics job report. All they pay attention to is the headline unemployment rate and the jobs number. They don't dig deeper into the fine print to really find what you need to be looking at. So in this video, I'm going to expose that data to all of you, and by the end of it, you're going to understand as a home buyer, real estate investor, financial investor in general, what to expect in the US economy and housing market in early 2022. Without further ado, let's get into the data. And to set the stage, we're going to take a look at a graph here comparing the growth rate in three different variables in the US economy and housing market. Number one is the growth rate in mortgage payments, the typical mortgage payment. How much has that gone up over the last 5+ years? You can see the typical mortgage payment's gone up by 43% in America. So around 5 years ago, the typical mortgage payment was around $1,100 a month. Now it's over $1,500 a month due to how much home prices have surged over the last couple years. Meanwhile, rental rates are also way up, plus 32%, and you can see most of this growth is actually occurring in the last 9 to 12 months. Rental rates have absolutely surged in America since the spring of 2021, and this is putting major stress on renters across the country. And then finally, the last data point we're going to look at here, but probably the most important, is the increase in worker wages, how much hourly and annual wages in America have gone up. And we can see they've only gone up by 22% in the same time span. Wait a minute, folks. So we have mortgage payments going up by roughly double the amount of wages, and then we have rental rates going up 50% faster than wages. That's not good for the American worker, the American consumer. We're getting squeezed out there. The cost of living, the cost of housing is going up much faster than worker wages, especially over the last 18 months. And make no mistake, this is a massive issue for the housing market and economy right now. The fact that the cost of housing is going up way more than what people are making. This is causing a housing crisis that is hurting workers everywhere across America, particularly poor and middle class workers. And not only that, this is something that is very destabilizing for both the US economy and the housing market. Because think about it, if your housing costs are going up more than your wages, you're not going to be able to actually spend as much into the local economy, which is going to hurt the economy. Additionally, you're going to be much more likely to default on your mortgage and default on your lease and get foreclosed and evicted if your wages are flatlining while your mortgage payments and rents are surging. And ultimately, this situation cannot persist. We cannot continue with a situation where housing costs are going up so much more than wages. Ultimately, one of two things needs to happen. Either mortgage payments and rents need to crash down to the prevailing level of wages. Quick 10-second commercial, everyone. If you guys are enjoying the data and insights in this video, please just make sure to hit that like button. That's the best way to support this channel and support me, is hitting that like button. That's going to help get this video out to more people. Thank you very much. Or worker wages are going to need to go up enough to catch up to rents and mortgage payments. There's no other option. One of these two things need to happen, or some combination of them needs to happen to prevent a complete and utter collapse in both the housing market and economy. And the good news is actually that worker wages during the pandemic have been going up. No doubt workers have the leverage right now over employers, and there's been big pay increases, big bonuses given out to people over the last 6 months. Businesses are basically tripping over themselves to fill open positions, and that's causing upward pressure on worker wages. We can see that represented on this graph, which tracks the average hourly wage in America over the last 5 years. You can see it's increased from $25 an hour in early 2016 to $31 an hour through November 2021. That's that 22% increase in worker wages. However, we can see that a very large percentage of this increase is coming just in the last 18 months. You can tell that by the green bars, which measure the year-over-year percentage change in wages. And basically in 2016, 2017, 2018, we were around 2.5% to 3% increase in wages per year. Well, during the pandemic, these green bars have surged up, and now we're around a 5% increase in wages annually. And that's great. It means that the American worker is legitimately earning more than they were before. However, there's just one problem, everyone, and that's that a 5% year-over-year increase in wages is not going to cut it when rent is going up by 14% and home prices are going up by 20%. We're going to need wages to go up by a lot more in order for them to catch up with the prevailing mortgage payments and rental rates and prevent the economy from collapse. And this is where the big red flag in the fine print of the BLS jobs report shows up. Let's go to it. So we're back at the BLS jobs report. As I said before, all of the first couple of paragraphs are related to payroll, employment, and unemployment rate. But let's scroll down. Let's scroll down to where they talk about earnings, hourly earnings. And you can see it's buried here in the third to last paragraph. They say in November, average hourly earnings for all employees on private non-farm payrolls increased by 8 cents to $31.30. So in November, hourly wages increased from $30.95 in the previous month to $31.03, an 8-cent increase. So you're probably asking yourself, 8 cents, what does that mean? Is that good? Is that bad? Well, it's actually pretty bad. And you can tell from looking at this graph, which instead of tracking the annual change in wages is tracking the month-over-month percentage change in wages. And here in November 2021, we can see that 8-cent increase corresponds to a 0.26% increase month over month. Now, I know you guys are saying, what does that mean? 0.26% month over month. How do I make sense of that? Well, just times it by 12, annualize it, 0.26%. If that monthly wage growth were to continue for the next year, that would be 3.1% wage growth over a year. 3.1%, that's kind of what the US was doing in 2018, 2019. That's not what we need for the economy to get back on track, for workers to be making more money, for workers to be able to afford the increase in costs of living and rent, home prices, gas prices, meat. We need a lot more than 0.26% in 8 cents in 1 month for the economy to support itself. And looking at these month-over-month changes, you can see where, the benefits and the growth really occurred in the spring. Like in April, wages went up by 0.7%. In May, they went up by 0.5%. But really, they've been on this kind of decelerating trajectory since the spring. They've been kind of going down when instead we need to see wages month over month accelerating. We need to see the exact opposite. We need to see these bars going up so wages can accelerate and catch up to where home prices, mortgage payments, and rents are. And this is a big, big problem. The slowing and deceleration in wage growth, it suggests that right now, the landlords who are jacking up rent on everyone by 15 or 20%, it suggests that the huge increase in home prices and mortgage payments we're seeing, it's not sustainable at all, because now that all of a sudden the housing and rental market is just taking a much larger share of the income out of the economy. That's going to crash consumer spending. It's going to increase defaults and evictions and foreclosures. It's going to cause people to start to move in with each other. Like in certain markets in the South, rent's gone up by 25%, while wages have only gone up by 3%. That's going to cause people to move in with friends and family, which is going to lower real estate demand. This is not a good situation, and we're not seeing what we need to see with wage growth. That 8-cent increase in November 2021, buried in the bottom of the jobs report, is a big red warning flag. And if we continue to see this deceleration in wage growth or flatlining in wage growth, we will have a crash. No doubt, because you cannot increase costs on people so much throughout the economy without wages going up in return. What I would suggest you all do going forward is, rather than maybe reading an article that talks about the recent BLS jobs report, I would recommend you actually go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, read their release, scroll down to the bottom, and look at what that monthly increase in earnings was, because we need way more than 8 cents in a month. We need 15 cents in a month. We need 20 cents in a month. That is the only way that this whole bubble economy, bubble housing market, bubble stock market, it's the only way that it can be sustained is if wages go up. If wages don't go up, read my lips, I'm going to repeat this one more time. If wages don't start accelerating, we're going to have a massive, massive crash in 2022. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, just make sure to show your appreciation and smash that like button. That's the best way to get this video out to more people and ensure that I can produce more of this content going forward. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I come out with 3 to 4 of these data-driven videos per week, and now that all this crazy stuff is happening in both the economy and housing market, you're going to want to stay apprised of it. I'm going to deliver this content to you every week. All right, everyone, until next time, this is Nick from Reventure Consulting signing off.